So I'm out there, hunting my target in the hazy atmosphere of Crusader. The Mark's the leader of the notorious El Petty gang who've been terrorizing the system like a bunch of uninvited guests at a wedding. Closing in, I can see it's an Idris, just drifting there, with some other fighter on its tail, probably begging for some spare change. I get in close, trying to land in the hangar, but then I notice the target's just sitting there, on the back of the ramp of the hangar, like he's waiting for a bus. So I just start blasting. And what do you know? After a few well-placed shots, I managed to take him down. Another 150k Wulongs to add to the pile. Sweet as an ice-cold cruise. Because Stanton's full of more criminals than a Grey Cat buggy has bugs, and it's my solemn duty to clean the place up. Someone's gotta do it, right? We were back in pursuit of a renegade Polaris, being chased down by several other bounty hunters, looking like a swarm of angry flies. It would take an age for us to even chip through those shields, like trying to dig a tunnel with a spoon. So I dodged the PDCs and the other fighters, trying to get close. As I bobbed around that battleship, looking for an opening, I was taking fire from all sides. One direct hit and I was a goner, deader than last week's bounty. I must have hit the throttle a little too hard, or maybe the Polaris jerked sharply, because before I knew it, I was going headfirst through the hangar doors to my ultimate destruction. I suppose at least now I know what the color of the paint is on Polaris hangar doors. There might be an ongoing regen crisis that's got half the verse pulling their hair out, but that doesn't affect the well-connected folks like me, thankfully. So I found myself back at Grim Hex, fresh as a daisy. And you know, the next target was just stood there right in front of me like a gift from Wicklow himself. As always, I silently tailed him, quiet as a shadow in the black, and I waited for him to get into the elevator. He didn't seem to mind me casually walking behind him, probably thought I was his new best friend. In some kind of panic, I accidentally stabbed him in the shoulder. Call it preemptive nervousness. My hands just act on their own sometimes, so I had to think quickly and pull out the rifle. Luckily, he drew down on me with a tractor beam, which would have been kind of impressive if he'd snatched a gun out of my hands like a parlor trick. Anyway, another target down, another 150k in the bank, clean as a whistle. Back in the lobby, and the bounty hunters were becoming a staple attraction, like a daily performance, and the targets were getting increasingly cocky, strutting around like they own the damn place. This guy seemed to be taunting me, wrapped in a false sense of security that Grim Hex was the safe haven he thought it was. Anyway, he was about to find out the hard way when a few of my fellow justice seekers joined us in the death box, elevator. Anyway, it went about as you'd expect, but of course, whoever gets the final blow gets the cash, and due to the gunfire in claustrophobic spaces, we all ended with a CS2 for shooting each other. It's like a family reunion where everyone brought a gun. Checking my comms, I could see the guy was transported to prison, safely inside the facility at Klesher. A quick trip to pay off the fines, which felt more like a tax on good intentions, and I was back at it. Back to the lobby for more easy money. One of my fellow hunters had stuck around, and we were just hanging out, pretending to be window shopping. We both managed to get inside the elevator without arousing suspicion, slick as a couple of well-dressed cats. And I promptly pull out the tools to do the business. Then my fellow independent contractor here, out of nowhere, pulls out a freaking death ray and cooks the guy on the spot. Wild. Absolutely wild, I tell ya. Anyway, last shot gets the cash, and I claim this one for myself, because I'm a quick thinker. We head back to the lobby, and the other hunter sneaks away like some kind of corporate solid snake. We sat and chewed the fat for a while, and I just marveled at his impressive mullet. Truly a work of art, that thing. Word must have caught on, because a whole load of bounty hunters showed up, all waiting for this one guy, like vultures at a buffet. As soon as he runs for the elevator, a small army of us descend on him. There's hardly room in there for all of us, packed in tighter than a cargo in the Freelancer. The target faces the firing squad, and I luckily managed to sneak in the last shot, netting the bounty. With the others clearly disappointed, looking like kids who dropped their ice cream, we head back to the lobby once more. Even more guys show up this time, all waiting for this one dude like he's handing out free sweets. Some even start staring him down, probably trying to intimidate him into a heart attack. all pile in the elevator again, and just to be helpful, I hit the button to go to the hangar. Anyway, we do our thing and the guy hits the bricks, and I manage to get the final shot in just as the doors close. This obviously riled up the rest of them, because the elevator was turned into Swiss cheese, with at least 2 of us getting cut down in the process. It's like a brawl at a bar, only with more laser beams. It was time for a change of pace, so I was hunting another Idris, seemingly drifting out in deep space. I was on my Nox bike, trying to make a stealthy approach, quiet as a mouse with a silencer. Just as I got in close, the ship quantums away. Just my luck, like the Mark was watching me the whole time, just waiting till I got close. Anyways, I track it down to the asteroid field near Yella, and I get in as close as possible. But landing on something like a moving Idris is a tricky thing, like trying to pack a Starfarer in a broom closet, and it doesn't always go to plan. As soon as I line up my perfect line, the ship jerks and forces me right through the hangar door, destroying me and the Nox in the process. Just great, another repair bill to look forward to. Using a Nox was all well and good, but I needed something small and fast that could also chase targets down. Something slicker than my attorney after a bad bounty. So I headed for Lawville and picked up the Mirai Razor EX, a small stealth fighter that's incredibly hard to detect. I tracked the Idris in a Razor back to the asteroid field of Yella. Lining the ship up with the hangar, I made my break. And despite the fact that I made it into the hangar, the adrenaline of pulling this move off made me temporarily forget how to land my ship. Almost crashed the damn thing. Anyway, once we were down, I made my way on foot through the ship towards a bridge, like a ghost in a machine. Opening the door to the bridge, the target was somehow wise to my presence, sharp as a scorpion's aim, and he gunned me down before I could even clear the frame. But I'm no slouch, see? Even as I crumpled, I managed to get a few rounds off, dropping him cold. The only problem, his teammate, quick as a vulture scooping up scrap, managed to revive him right there, like a cheap trick from a street magician pulling a rabbit out of the hat. Undeterred, because a pro like me doesn't quit just because the universe plays dirty, I jumped back in the Razor and zipped back, determined to get my man. As I was circling, looking for my moment, a Crusader spirit came screaming in, unleashing a bombing run on the Idris. The whole ship rocked, alarms blaring like a bad jazz band. This is my chance, I figured, hoping to slip in amid the confusion. Again, making my way to the bridge, I threaded through the chaos, slipping behind the enemy team, quiet as my Razor on silent. Being careful not to get spotted, I shadowed them through the ship's labyrinthine corridors. Just as we got to the bridge, one of the enemies doubled back, sharp as a tack. I had to blow my cover, taking him down while the silence popped before I could even grunt. Then, flanking to the opposite side of the bridge, I cautiously waited, my finger on the trigger, for the precise moment to strike. My heart was pounding like an Argo pushing max thrust. Just then, the target and his friend made a desperate break for the bridge. I managed to down the target with a clean shot, and then backed off to reload quick as a wink before re-engaging the other enemy. He went down too. Confident, I sprint up to the target, ready to finish him off and claim my prize, already feeling the UEC in my virtual wallet. But as with all things with the Bounty Hunting Guild, who write more rules than the UEE has laws, I, of course, do not get the bounty. It's like winning the lottery and then finding out the ticket's expired, or like a 600 SCU HERC contract getting cancelled mid-flight. Infuriating, I tell you. There was, of course, only one way to end this adventure now. Payout or no payout, this Idris wasn't gonna float another second. I made it to the pilot seat, bypassing the locks faster than a pickpocketed ArcCorp, and hit the self-destruct sequence. I had no idea how long I had until the whole damn thing was gonna blow, probably counted in heartbeats. I sprinted, my boots pounded down the corridors, back to the Razor, and I got the hell out of there, leaving a trail of smoke and bad intentions behind. Circling around waiting for the fireworks, I dodged the other fighters, no doubt coming after me because of my sudden crime stat. Anyway, the Idris went up in a spectacular ball of fire, a beautiful, silent explosion in the void, a final middle finger to the guild. I took a brief victory flyby just to admire my handiwork before heading back to Crusader in the familiar chaos of Grim Hex. So, I may not have gotten paid for the bounty itself, not a single credit for all that trouble, but I got my guy, and I took his big, shiny, expensive shit down from the inside. Blew it to smithereens. I'd call that a win, even if the ledger doesn't. Until next time, folks.